Hello Esmeralda, my name is Mazlum Gun and I'm a trainee solicitor at Bodge, Stodge and Hassel and also trainee mediator. I have looked into the facts you have gave me and mind mapped sort of what we can do and come to a conclusion with the mediation process. The mediation process will help to settle the disagreement between yourself and Anakim. I have determined that the mediation is the finest path you could follow as it is much less time consuming and less costly than the litigation procedure. Also, it is much more informal and it's more of you and Anakin coming to a conclusion before court. Esmeralda, there are three stages of the mediation meetings. The opening phase would be the first stage of the process. Parties will have the opportunity to put their own case. I would like to note, Esmeralda, that it is important that no interruption is made by any party, by yourself or Anakim, whilst in the mediation process. And whilst one party is speaking, the other party can take notes of what they actually disagree with. All the discussions shall be kept confidential. It's between you, me, and Anakim, and shall not be disclosed to any third party. Also, I would like to note that the mediation process is totally voluntary and you or Anakin can leave at any time you wish, which means that thereafter we would have to take further action as in the litigation procedure or further mediation preferably. The stage after that, Esmeralda, would be the exploitation phase, which I would not be giving legal advice at that stage and will be more focused on the strengths, weaknesses and realistic outcomes of the case. And also I would be noting the consequences of not settling on the day. I will try and maintain as much information I could by listening to both sides. Whilst both parties evaluate their position, we'll be moving forward with the mediation, and it will be advantageous to disclose info to Anakim in order to reach a settlement. The stage after that, Esmeralda, will be the negotiation phase. It's now both parties must put proposals forward at this stage, and I will be putting guidelines forward, not coming up with a settlement. We may be in a joint meeting if we come to this stage. That means you and Anakin meet up in that stage and try to conclude the disagreements. I will be trying my best to put forward offers that will satisfy yourself and Anakin in order to come to a settlement. I would also like to say that even if you are more willing to go through the litigation process, this will still be advantageous as it means that evidence will be prepared in advance and will dictate the difficulty I've had with Anakin, which we could provide to the court. Also, Esmeralda, I would like to relate to a case, Pennock and Hodson 2010. This was also a case like your case, which was a boundary dispute. And it has been determined in this case that even after litigation it may not be over. However, it would be better off to go for the mediation. Otherwise, if you go for litigation, it would not be good for your neighbor relationship. And this was also said by Per Mummery LJ. Also, coming to the settlement agreement, I've determined that I have concluded with what we could do in order to settle the case within the mediation process. Both parties shall agree with at this stage for the fence to be erected, and as you and Anakim have different boundaries, which is a 30 centimeter difference, the fence should be in between that 30 centimeters of both boundary lines set out by you and Anakim. And Esmeralda, you should guarantee Anakim that your pet shall not be going into his land and messing up within his garden. And if he does so, if the pet does so, you should be cleaning up that litter. And for Anakim, we have come to a conclusion that he should not be playing loud music whilst he has his door and windows open. Therefore, he should be noting that his neighbors may be affected by the loud noise and interrupted. Also, Esmeralda, I would like you to make sure that your visitors do not park in such a way that it would block or cause difficulty for Anakim to actually enter and get out with his car into his property. And also Anakim should make sure that the food smell is reduced by either shutting the bin lid or by putting fragrance in the bin. And I have, with this settle agreement, with this mediation settle agreement, I would like you to actually sign this and date this, and also I would need Anakin to sign so we can come to a settlement. It is most important that you sign this, Esmeralda, so that we can come to a conclusion before even proceeding to court, and we can conclude with our own conclusion between both parties without the judge in court to have to decide what would be convenient, which may not be convenient for yourself or Anakin.